they are no longer in tune with the vibration of this planet. So because everything is frequency and vibration, and everything has to frequency match to everything else so that things can stay together, you know, like in a home, in a relationship, and also on a planet, the frequency of the humans inhabiting this planet has to frequency match the frequency of the planet itself. So humans have to frequency match the frequency of the earth, the vibration of the earth. If she has evolved to the 4D, 5D vibrations, we need to get there too, as humans, as inhabitants. That's where we need to be. It is compulsory. That's how you can actually stay here on this planet. If you don't uplift your frequency, raise your frequency to a higher level, it is not possible for you to stay on the planet. Your vibration will mismatch the frequency of Gaia, and you'll just have to go on another frequency zone that is like not here. For some people, that's called death, right? But it's not death, it's transitioning to either a higher or a lower vibration depending on where you need to go from here. For many, death is an evolution. They need to, like, so many people need to now transcend maybe to a higher vibration that's no longer not available yet here on earth. They have completed the stage here, or they just finished everything and need to have fun somewhere else. That's also a possibility. So don't be sad for the people dying. It is part of their evolution and their life cycle. However, for the ones who want to and prefer to stay here and would love to spend more time with their dear ones and their family and their friends and whoever they love, the only very necessary step to stay healthy, to stay aligned, and to stay on this planet is to lift your frequency. So this is a must. It's not like optional anymore. How to lift your frequency, this is what we're discussed and we discuss in this class. You know, it starts with your diet, with the very fuel that your body is made of. Change that to change the structure of your body and the vibration of your body. So no longer eating death, right? Like dead animals and dead meat and products that are coming from animals, that are taking from their calves and whoever needs to eat them. That is not for us. No longer eating over-processed food. That's also dead, because there's no energy in it. There's no prana in that, right? That's essential, and it's easy to comprehend. Going into more raw, going into more organic foods, going into more liquid food is the next step. So not eating processed food, and then not eating so much solid food that forces your digestive system to constantly work and your energy to constantly be drained and utilized for digestion. That's another important step. It is crucial now that you include at least 2/3 of your nourishment in liquid mode and not solid mode. I know it sounds a lot, but it's not a lot. You can do a few smoothies or juices per day, and all the people that have done juice fasting or that have included liquid food in their life, not necessarily fasting, but combining it with solid food, have told me over the months and over the years how wonderful it is for them to go into that mode. Because there's books that I've read, transmissions by light beings, where it says that, and I've experienced myself, it says that when you go from a dead food diet, meaning meat and processed food, to a organic natural diet, meaning vegetarian and non-processed as much as possible, you have 10% more energy. But when you go from solid organic diet to liquid organic diet, it enhances your energy 100 times more, which means 100 times more from where you're now. Imagine that, how it would be in your life to have more energy without the coffee, without the substitutes, without the energizer, without everything that you use that is not necessary. How it would be to have only to have that energy coming only from source, from prana, from essence, right? And from liquid food that is basically condensed prana, but at a high vibrational level. So that's possible. That's what I'm practicing. I eat very little solid food and rarely, and the rest of the time I really prefer liquid food because it's really enhancing the energy so much. So I do smoothies, I do juices, I do liquid raw soups, and even warm soups when it's really, really cold in my mountains. But the energy is so much different than the normal energy that we were having when we were eating solid food. So that's huge leap, you know. And I'm just telling you because I've been driving for 11 hours per day at a very high speed, 10 to 11 hours, for a spiritual trip that we did, for a spiritual retreat that we did 2 days ago. So for many days in a row I've been constantly in a car, and the last days I've been driving myself for more than 10 hours, right, per day. Imagine that at 11 p.m. I was still awake, I was still quite joyful, so or at least functional and in a positive mode. And I ended my day singing and dancing because I finally made it to Lourdes, a very special spiritual place, and that has uplifted my frequency very much. And I haven't eaten those 2 days, except for very little almonds. I haven't eaten at all. I had juices or water, or you know, I prefer to drink kombucha, and that really, really wakes me up, and I love it. So that's my practice. I'm not telling you because I've read it in a book, just by like that. I'm telling you because this is how I live. Of course, I like to have a lunch with friends from time to time. Of course, it is beautiful for me to taste stuff. Like I've been in Grasse the other day, and they're having amazing chocolate, and I'm tasting that. Especially if I can find the liquid version of it, I'm just loving it. There's no problem. But in general, over the day, I prefer liquid food, and it's so much better. Or things that are in a puree or soupy consistency, that's what I like, right? And in small quantities, once per day, twice per day, of juices or soups or whatever it is, very mashed like this, you know, like aubergine and eggplant stuff. Very, very easy to live like this because you have so much energy. And I see someone asking me if I don't lose too much weight with only liquids, and I'm telling people, you know, just look at me. You know, I don't look like a very skinny person. I'm not chubby, I'm either, but I don't prefer to be. But I'm not a skinny person because my body adjusts to the energy that I'm giving it. So with one very small solid meal a day and 1 or 2 juices, because somebody is asking me how much juice, 1 or 2 juices or smoothies, that's how I'm surviving. And the rest is prana. And I'm telling you that, you know, this is a lot because there are people who are not eating at all, and there are people who are not even drinking liquids for more than 10 years, so not eating, not drinking, and they're surviving. So there are people on this planet that have been researched medically and scientifically that are only nourished by prana. And they are my friends and colleagues and people that I've lived with. So that's how I know that this is true. Right? And the people that have been on retreats with me recently in the past few days and in general, they can confirm that I'm living like this. And I'm not even like telling people that I never eat, because that would be a lie, and that would not be true, and I'm not trying to convince anyone not to eat. That would also be a dangerous thing. But I'm telling you from my own experience that your energy is much higher and much more stable when you use very little solid food and replace the rest with liquid food and you go on a lighter diet. So that's the first step in this conversation that I want to speak about. And to invite you to reconsider, especially now that in most hemispheres it's summer and it's very hot, to reconsider the quantity and the quality of the food that you're taking. And see if it's really necessary to put that much waste in your body that then ends up on your waist. I'm just playing with words a little bit, but you got it. Because, you know, everybody wants to be good looking, but I want to be good functioning first. I want to have this machinery that is my body or my vessel or my holy grail. I want to have it in the best functioning condition that it can be, right? So that's the first step. Then I will talk about also the quality of your interactions, the quality of your time, what you spend time and energy on. And I'm also going to talk about, of course, the quality of your relationships and your sexuality. But those who are live with us and aren't still subscribed in the class, join us. There's a link in bio saying Prana and Tantra. Go there, see what needs to be as an energy exchange, and tell us if you want to be with us, because that's what we're going to talk about. You know, I'm not going to be filming live for a long time. I'm seeing another one here. Asking about the pranic aspects that also Jasmine and other colleagues of mine are referring to, and they want to know about how to integrate this in the daily life. And somebody asks, what are the benefits of this pranic nourishment at the individual level, but also at the worldwide level, at the planetary level? Yes, so the benefits at the personal level, I've already told you that it brings much more energy, 100 times more energy, much more clarity, much more focus, the ability to hold several projects in parallel, the ability to travel extensively, also without stopping for, you know, snacks and toilets and all that stuff that people are stopping for. So I was calculating my last trip. Initially the GPS was saying that we're gonna do 8 hours, 7 to 8 hours, right? When we had 2 stops for gas, just because our tank wasn't large enough to travel the whole trip with just one tank, we had 2 stops for gas, and we already added an hour to our trip. An hour for me is crucial, because in an hour I can like interact with thousands of people the way I do now with you, and we can spread energy all over the planet. So to spend it driving or cooking or eating is a very, very bad energy management for me. So that's why during a trip I only stop if necessary, and I only stop for gas. So imagine not to have to add another hour for eating or going to toilet or stuff like this, especially when you're with a group. That's the first benefit that I want to invite people to think about. And also during the day, calculate how much time you need for cooking and shopping and preparing your food and washing your dishes. And then, so calculate that in hours, and imagine what you could do with your time if you had liquid diet or less meals per day, and tell me if that's good management. Then another thing that is very beneficial is the clarity of your mind and the way your body functions. My body and the body of the people that are eating very little and very harmonious is functioning very differently. It's like a biocomputer or a supercomputer that can bring in and integrate much more energy, right? Because it's not cluttered by the physical food that normally clutters people, and it's not utilized for digestion. You've noticed that when you are eating, after you're eating, you need a few hours or just 1 hour for some people to digest all the stuff, you know, and you're sleepy and not functioning after your meals. Why? Because your meals haven't been chosen in the right way, and you want to sleep after, right? Because you need to process all that information, and the whole energy goes in your gut for digestion. If you chose meals in a proper way, your meal would be enhancing your energy right away. So when I make a pineapple juice with some chilies and some paprika and some mango in it, if I drink that, I am jumping, right? I don't sit for 1 hour to sleep on the couch or to snooze out or to need a coffee after my meal. That is my so-called coffee, you know, it's an energizer. Or if I'm having half a glass of kombucha, that's not gonna make me sleepy. That's gonna make me super awake. So I can drive I could drive for the next 3 hours. So I had kombucha towards 7 p.m. during my driving the other day, and I was able to drive until 10 and then continue to look for parking until 11 p.m. So it was an energy booster that looked like this big in a glass, right, for me. And for those of you who don't know what kombucha is, it is a tea made of a specific SCOBY that is it's called the tea of immortality, or the SCOBY of immortality, that was used in China and Russia for healing powerful disease like cancer or other things like this, and is still used by me and many on the planet for healing and for energizing and for detox. And you can look it up on the internet and find the details. I'm personally selling to my friends in Romania because I make it every week. Now that I'm not in my country, I have some sources here, and I found a very good one yesterday in Grass as well. But in general, that's what I'm consuming. So my meals are super energizing me, right? So that's another benefit, to answer to Mihai. Another benefit is that there's so little waste that goes through your body, and also so little waste that is created by your eating process. So I just have 1 or 2 slices of pineapple that produce waste in a day, and 1 or 2 slices of mango. That's not a lot of waste for my body or for my garbage bin, right? I don't use a lot of garbage bags, I don't use plastic, I don't use all that stuff that comes with the eating, all the detergents, all the wash machines, the waters, all that stuff, you know. If you go global, imagine an entire population functioning like this, what are the benefits that this would bring, right? So we're inviting you to consider that as well. And the energy consumption, right, in your body, you're preserving energy because you're not using it for digestion. In your home, you're preserving energy because you don't need a fridge. So if I buy 4 or 5 fruits, you know, for the day or for 2 days, they can stay outside without being without getting stale. And I literally haven't used the fridge for the first 2 years that I moved in my house. You know, my fridge door was slightly open, and all my friends were getting, you know, frightened when they saw, oh, you forgot your fridge open. And I was always telling them, no, my fridge is not in use. That's why it's staying like this. Now I've plugged it in because of some products that I have to put there. But in general, for 2 years, it hasn't been plugged in. So all that energy saving for the fact that you're not using large quantities of food, and the food that you're consuming for a day can also stay out of your fridge if you're not eating much, right? If you're only consuming fruits or nuts, you can easily keep it in your kitchen counter or somewhere. So that's another benefit, the benefit of not misusing and polluting the waters. Imagine an entire population, or at least half of it, not utilizing so much detergent and so much water for dishes and for you know, whatever they are consuming, and extensively the water that they need, I was reading about it, to raise the animals in animal farming that people eat. That's colossal for the planet. If we at least stop eating the animals, gives me goosebumps, you know, to even think of it, that people actually eat animals. If we stop that, an entire planet benefits from so much more energy and so much more water, clean water. You know, that's huge. And in your own home is the same. It reflects in your bills. It reflects in your day-to-day consumption. It reflects in how you're utilizing your revenues is changing completely, right? Imagining going to the market like I did today and buying 1 pineapple, 2 peaches, and what have I got? A mango and a few olives. That was my whole bill for an entire, for 2 days I'm using, or 3 days I'm using this, right? 1 peach per day and half a mango and some pineapple slice. So that's not much. Imagine how much stuff you can buy with the money that you save on not eating extensively and out of habit. I want to, however, invite you to consider the fact that it is not an invitation for you to stop eating, because you'll die if you don't do energy work, if you don't do the practice that synchronizes your body to a higher frequency, and you stop eating right away without considering daily meditation, daily practice, daily movement, you die. Or you lose weight, like somebody was asking before, or you just not function properly, right? But if you do the daily energy practice, the daily and constant meditation and other exercise that we're going to do now, and that so many pranic people are recommending, like Qigong and yoga, and informing or programming your body to be nourished in a different way, and keeping your mind focused on what you want to create instead of what you want to avoid, and all these things that are preserving energy. If you do that, then you have the chance to gain energy instead of losing it, and then you actually are able to eat less. So practice and lifestyle are the very core conditions to have a lighter diet. And you've noticed people that as soon as they start meditating, at some point they go vegetarian. Then after a while, if they do some yoga or qigong or some breath work, they naturally feel to go vegan. And after a while, they naturally feel to maybe go on raw food, because they need to lighten up from that as well, especially summertime. And after a while, they introduce juice fasting or intermittent fasting and so on. So we're having these possibilities, and there's thousands of meditations on my channel, on my YouTube, not thousands but surely hundreds, that have to do with this, with the enhancing the level of energy and uplifting your frequency, and keeping you in a higher vibration. But mainly, if you do 3 to 7 minutes of energizing each chakra, so it would be 21 to 49 minutes of practice every day, each chakra for 3 or 7 minutes, to energize and cleanse it every day, that's a huge step to raising up your energy. So focus 3 minutes on each chakras. It means 21 minutes of meditation in a whole day to nourish your system. Then there's advanced practices that we're going to do tonight, of course, in this class, of putting streams of light through each of your body systems, putting streams of light to each of your energy systems, like the nadis and the chakras and so on, that enhance that frequency even more. But you have to follow some of our classes, or have a mentor, or work with somebody for this, because it's really important that you do it right. If you miss it, you miss your very energy, and you can imbalance your body. So practice, exercise, lifestyle, how you live, where you spend your time, what you spend your energy with, who you're giving attention to, what you're giving attention to, the quantity of and quality of work that you are doing. All these things are influencing your general frequency and are lowering or heightening your vibration. People that are only working without considering what makes their heart sing and what makes them happy, and constantly running after clients, constantly running after money, they are depleting their energy flow a lot. Many of your jobs are no longer matching your frequency and you have to change. But to be able to change, you have to raise the frequency of your body and of your lifestyle. So that's another important thing, especially if you're feeling tired every day or sick every day after your work. That's a clear sign that you need to change, right? So be with me in this class, stay with us and your attention and intention to be able to get all this information and incorporate it in your life, because that's important too. You receive the information, but what do you do with it after you receive it? Do you practice or do you just leave it there in a corner? That's also an essential thing. Right, so somebody's asking, people say that kombucha is too acidic on the body in a raw diet, so now I'm confused. It depends on each one's system, right? You check it out and see what it does to you. For me, kombucha is a probiotic, so it should help in a raw diet, because whenever your body is shifting diet, right? When you're shifting from omnivorous to vegetarian, when you're shifting from vegetarian to vegan, and when you're shifting from vegan to raw, and then shifting from raw to juices and whatever, your gut bacteria changes, your gut balance changes. You need to help it with probiotic foods or drinks, or probiotic products in general. And kombucha is one of the best probiotics there is, so it should be helping. But at the beginning, while the gut bacteria changes, it might have some impact on your on the way people feel, and they might feel it as too acidic. But each system is different. I use it, I like it, it helps me. And most of my diet, as I said, is raw or even, blended. For other people, if it's too acidic, one, maybe the gut bacteria needs a little more help and a little more detox. Two, maybe there's other problems there. Three, maybe it's not the right kombucha. But each one has to test and see what works for them. Thanks for watching. The ones who are on Instagram, we're gonna be popping in sometimes tonight, but be with us for the whole class. The link is in bio or DM to participate. Big hugs.